is tell your story, whatever that happens to be. Dorcas was on my mind. That's why I used the analogy with Dean. Thank you. Appreciate that. I had one of those moments. Dorcas is an unlikely evangelist, which is obvious by the way you reacted when I said I would thank God that his name wasn't Dorcas. Because anybody that can be an evangelist, can you imagine? And now I want to invite somebody up here to share. Dorcas! And you'd be looking around and think, did he mean orca? No, it's Dorcas. Like, what a name, right? Why would someone name their kid Dorcas? It just doesn't make sense. But she is an unlikely evangelist because she shared her life. I would like you to turn to Acts chapter 9 and verse 36. Acts chapter 9 and verse 36. You will find that on page 777. Sorry, no you won't. 778. In Joppa, there was a disciple named Tabitha, which being translated is Dorcas, who was always doing good and helping the poor. About that time, she became sick and died, and her body was washed and placed in an upstairs room. Lydda was near Joppa, so when the disciples heard that Peter was in Lydda, they sent 2 men to him and urged him, "Please come at once." Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around him, crying and showing him the robes and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. Peter sent them all out of the room. Then he got down on his knees and prayed. Turning toward the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes and seeing Peter, sat up. He took her by the hand and helped her to her feet. Then he called the believers and the widows and presented her to them alive. This became known all over Joppa, and many people believed in the Lord. Peter stayed in Joppa for some time with a tanner named Simon. So here's Dorcas, and the fact that she was unlikely is because she wasn't one to stand up front. She worked behind the scenes. Her main burden was the widows. You see, back in those days, when the husband died, the wife didn't get the stuff. The wife was cast out of the stuff getting. Who got the stuff was the son. That's how it was passed down. And if you had a deadbeat son, well, the son could take off and he could sell everything and spend it all, and in no time, you were out on your ear. So mom got nothing. And no way to make a living. This was a concern for Dorcas. And so for those widows that were really widows, she got together and she made clothes. She helped feed them. She did things for them. She shared her life with them. This is something that we can do. It's not about standing up and preaching. She shared her life. This next story is a true story that happened in Hawaii. And in Hawaii, they had a leper colony, and a priest went to be with them, to minister to them. And the one thing that he was told was this: don't ever, ever, ever touch them. Don't touch them.
Can you help us? Emma, my youngest. She came to take care of me when they allowed family to come. Now, a Portuguese has taken her to the madhouse. He makes her do bad things. I'm too sick. I need her.
Did she go with him because she wanted?
No. She fought, but it's no good to fight. They always win.
Superintendent, we are turning this building into a dormitory for the sick and for the elderly.
How long do you think you'll last, priest?
Let us live while we can. Nobody cares.
Yeah? Yes, well, I care. And God cares. And this is not the way to live. Come.
Bring Jimmy!
I cannot know your pain, except in my heart. There is a God, I know that. If you believe in him, you feel him.
We may not know one another's pain, but the truth is we can say and believe and act, I care, and God cares, because it really is true. In other words, just like Dorcas, we can invest ourselves in other people's lives because we care and God cares. Maybe there's someone down the street from you that needs their lawn mowed. Maybe something has happened and they just can't get around to it. Maybe that you need to, this winter, shovel someone's driveway and sidewalk because that's just the right thing to do and because you're invested in their lives. Maybe there's a single mom. And maybe what you need to do is one Sunday or one weekend say, let me take the kids. And you go on out. You have some me time. Why? Because I care. And God cares. Dorcas was an evangelist, but how she worked was she invested in people's lives. Maybe your group, a couple of you together, that you can get together and you can adopt a family who may be resource challenged. And you can say, you will not go for want. And as you adopt them, you say, I need your kids' sizes. I need to know what kind of shoes they like. I need to, because we want to make your life good. And we're investing in it because I care. And because God cares. Can you imagine what that would do? Forget standing on a soapbox. Forget it. We can invite them to come and see. We can tell them our story. We can invest in their lives. And the final one that I want to look at is the Apostle Peter. If you turn to Acts chapter 2, verse 38, you know, Peter was all mouth. He had a problem that way. You'll find it on page 772. Peter was an in-your-face type of guy. He was a ready, fire, aim sort of person. He would take action